Oh, my name's Victor Daniels. I'm from East London, Stratford. Born and raised in Hackney though, but I live in Stratford. Originally Nigerian. And some people think I'm Scottish. I've been I've been doing comedy now for about 20 years. I hate saying it, but yeah, 20 years. A lot of people don't believe this, but I literally was at university and my friend said, "You're funny, you should do comedy." Her name was Lisa, I'll never forget it. It was on the mezzanine floor. And she said, "You should do comedy." I was like, "You know what? Yeah, why not?" And then I just did it. There's no other story to it. Ah, daunting. I was nervous. I was scared. Funny enough, my first two gigs. My first gig, I was at Richard Blackwood's had a TV show on Channel 4, and what happened? I don't know. To this day, I don't know who set this up, but I think it was my friend Lawson, but somebody set up. So in the interval, Richard Blackwood said, "I heard there's a comedian in the house." And then he said, "Can a Victor Daniels come down?" And that was my first ever gig. And I didn't know what I was going to say. I just thought of things randomly. And I said three jokes. One joke was super funny. Other joke was okay. And the third was just forget it. So that was my first comedy experience. And then the other one, funny enough, it was in Purple Turtle in Highbury, Islington. And just by odd occasion, Jeannie Ashray was in the audience. Not to sound vain, really not sounding vain, but I didn't have no struggles. I'm a very universal comedian, so my jokes, I do black, white, and Asian audiences. So all my jokes tend to be viable for all those types of audiences. But if I'm doing a black show, I can be a little bit more with regards to culture. So I could talk about, I've got African parents, they used to beat me or whatever. I could talk more about that because that audience understands it. But if you're doing like, and as well, it's not just race. If you're doing like posh white people, they want to hear more stuff about politics. They want to hear more intelligent jokes. So that you might tailor it around that. And if I'm doing an Asian show, obviously I'm the only black guy in the village. So I might have some jokes about their food or their customs and things they do. And I might just throw in, not a lot, just maybe one or two jokes, just to show that I'm in the building and I understand the environment. But coming through the comedy scene, I've always found older Caribbean audiences hard. And I've also always found posh white people hard. But I'm learning that they got a different, older Caribbeans, they like a bit more culture in their comedy, and the posh people, they like politics. And the young audiences, they're starting to get on my nerves a little bit because they're very woke. You say race and they go, "Oh, you can't say that." So that's something I've got to start thinking about as well. So there's about 8 to 10 different types of different audiences. It's not just skin color. There's class, there's like the poorer section of the community. So there's lots to think about. So when I put my set together, I have those in mind, but 9 times out of 10, majority of my material can go for all audiences. So before it was literally just a case of just doing comedy on stage and then you get your name out that way. But what we found was, it wasn't enough. You needed more. So now with the Instagrams and the Facebook, you can now do comedy videos which get your name out more. I mean, there's some comedians who do so many videos that the people watching don't even realize they're comedians. And and for myself, when we was on lockdown, I was doing a comedy video every day. And now that we're out of lockdown, I feel that those videos have really pushed my name to people that may never have known me before. Like I've had to do shows for Tesco's, Someone just contacted me just literally about 3 days ago regarding birthday cards where you put your voice into, so when the person opens up the card, they hear your voice and you might say something like, I know, big man, it's your birthday, yeah, but you still owe me money. So that might never, I doubt that would have happened if we just doing stand-up. That's also come from social media. So in a way, social media has been a good thing, but it's also been a bad thing as well, because some people with a large social media followers, they might get more gigs, but really they're not as strong comedians. So that blessing and a curse, I guess. Theatre Royal Bowl, I did my first hour there. I performed for a whole hour to a full audience. That was brilliant. Did it a couple of times actually. And I've also done a few shows for Quincy. He's got some shows in and about the Stratford area, and also Stratford Theatre. Well, I've actually put on a show there, which went really well. I did a joke where I was introducing people, and one of the guy had a long name, so I pretended to write his name, and I kept on jumping to the side to the point where I jumped off stage because his name was so long. So that was kind of memorable, and that was a sold out show, so that was really good.